What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and I am here today with a very late review of Love and Marriage Huntsville, you guys. Season 6, Episode 10. The episode is titled Unpaid in Full, you guys. Now, before we go ahead and get into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning your post notifications on, and sharing the video. And with that out the way, you guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and discuss Love and Marriage Huntsville, shall we? All right, you guys, so do want to apologize that this is a late review. The reason that this video is late is because of two things. First, Saturday morning when I woke up, it was like really hot in my apartment. So I sleep with a ceiling fan on, right? And I woke up sweating. I'm like, that's kind of odd that I'm sweating and my air is on, right? So I went into the office and I did a little bit of overtime. And then I came back home and it was hot outside and I was sweating. And I was like, okay, it's taking me a minute to kind of cool down. So I finally cooled down. And then I was like, wait a minute. I was like, I don't feel any air circulating in my apartment. So I came in here and I looked at my thermostat. My thermostat said it was 75 degrees in my apartment. I was like, oh, hell no, that ain't gonna work for me, right? So I immediately put in a service request for maintenance to come out here and look at my air conditioner. They came out and lo and behold, they needed to change that damn air filter, right? And I mean, that air filter was terrible. That was a horrible. That air filter was just. I've been breathing in dirty air, because I moved into this. Remember, mind you, I moved in here in December, and I did not know that air filter looked like that. But yeah, the air filter was a mess. And then the maintenance man, he was like, "It's cold in here." I was like, "Because the fan is on." So he put the thermometer towards the ground, like those that they used during COVID to keep a distance from people. He put that one on the ground. It was 74 degrees on the floor, but the vent was reading 66. But he was like, yeah, it probably needs some Freon. So he came out early yesterday and, he had to turn the air off. So he turned the air off for a while and he came back and we had air. But I had to go buy a standing, one of those standing fans to keep myself cool on top of using my ceiling fan. So that is why this video is late. But that's that. So this episode, it wasn't a whole lot to this episode. So we literally picked up where we left off with Tiffany having issues with, having some kind of issues. So Stormy did the right thing and she went and got Kimmy. So Kimmy was like, yeah, I don't have my her blood pressure thing, right? So she couldn't really check her blood pressure, but they said that, we feel like we need to get you to the hospital. Tiffany said no. So Kim said, well, I think the best thing for you to do is right now is to lay over on your left side, right? I don't understand why Tiffany didn't want to call 911, because I mean, you're very much so pregnant. So I felt like she should have called 911, but Lewis eventually got her out of there and they took her to the hospital. So that was that in that particular scene with Tiffany and Lewis. And since we're talking about Tiffany and Lewis, let's just go ahead and knock them on out the way, right? So Tiffany and the baby, they're fine, but the doctors want Tiffany to slow down and I feel like they want to put her, I feel like the doctors put her on bed rest, but that's not really what Tiffany wants to do. Tiffany is planning a trip to DC. She has a speaking engagement, and I'm like, ma'am, you just went to the hospital. Don't you think you might want to sit it on down and, do what's best for you and your baby? But okay. So then they talked about Marceau and Martell, right? So here's my thing, because I feel like Lewis is putting 20 on 10 when it comes to the whole Marceau was there. They were at Black. Could Marceau have excused himself? Absolutely. Did he have to? No. Did he? No. Martell was not wrong for approaching Tiffany and having the conversation about what she said to Sheree. So I didn't see, like I said previously, the only issue that I really truly had was it was the optics. That was all I've ever said, is the optics, because it just it did look one way, but they didn't say anything disrespectful to Tiffany. Tiffany did take that whole Karen comment and she ran with it, and that was really it. The thing is, Tiffany needed to mind her damn business. If Melody talking about she wants to do this for Mel, if Mel has not come to you to ask you how you co-parent with how you co-parent with Lewis and whatever, then keep your unsolicited opinions to yourself. And that was really my thing when it came to Tiffany. Like, girl, mind the business that pays you. I know it's this show, but what's happening in their personal lives has absolutely not a damn thing to do with YOU. But that's really all we got for Tiff and Lewis. Let's pause here and move forward, you guys. All right, you guys. So next up, let's talk about Marceau real quick, right? So we see Marceau. So Marceau, he is with Maurice, and they are at a groundbreaking. Now, I don't know what they are doing a groundbreaking for, but one thing I will say about this cast is, they do businesses, and I uplift them and I applaud them for all the things that they do. So I'm not gonna take a dig by no means. Congratulations to them, right? So they talk about the comeback group. I was like, wait a minute, when did this turn into the comeback group? I thought this was the Black Business Expo. I thought this was the Black Business Expo, not the comeback group. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, are we really gonna have to sit here and listen to them talk about the comeback group, right? And how they can come together and work together. I was like, oh God. I was like, here we go again, right? So I can understand each person's perspective when it comes to this whole Black Business Expo, Expo, as Tisha says, right? So Marceau and Tisha, they feel like, they want, like, basically they want to give back to the community, right? And I'm all here for that. And then they talk about sponsors. Again, I'm all here for giving back to the community because they feel like the community has done so much for them and helped them and worked, done business with them, right? I get it. They're not wanting to charge, I don't know why I'm using air quotes, but they don't want to charge the people, right? And I'm okay with that. I have no issues with that. The issue that I have is, one, y'all did take Melody's idea about the sponsorship. If you're getting sponsors, that's fine that you're getting sponsors to sponsor this event so that way you can give back to the community. But you also need to be able to pay these people that you're asking to speak, because I'll get there when we get to it. But if you want me to speak at an event, that's fine. But you're not going to sit here and I'm getting ahead of myself. But yeah, I can see Letitia's side and Letitia's and Marceau's side, but I more so see Kimmy and Melody's side and Martell's. Let's pause here, move forward. All right, you guys. So this next scene we got is Melody. So Melody is going to go see her attorney, right? So Mel wants to change her name from Melody Holt back to her maiden name, Melody Rogers, right? And I don't have a problem with that at all. I wouldn't want nothing from Martell, so I don't blame her in any way, shape, form, or fashion, right? So her attorney tells her that there is going to be a little bit of a hiccup with her changing her last name, and it's because of this ongoing custody battle that she has with Martell, right? So they talk about the things that Martell has requested from the custody. He's wanted her social media passwords. He's wanted to know who she's talking to, like dating wise, and her phone records. And I was like, excuse you? That's an invasion of privacy. Now, I was with Melody when she said, I can understand him wanting to, their attorneys wanting to see my financial records to know if I can actually take care of our children. But that other stuff it's really more so for Martell to feed his ego, to know if you've actually moved on from him. And I pray for her. I pray for Melody, right? She's not my favorite person on this show, but to have to deal with somebody like a Martell, I couldn't handle it. I would not be able to deal with it, right? So here's the thing that I really honestly have to say when it comes to Melody and a divorce from Martell, right? And her last name. Why didn't you ask to have your last name changed back when you guys were going through the divorce process? Because you can tell what you want you can tell the judge in your divorce decree, you can say what you want. I mean, Tina Turner did it. Rest in peace to Tina Turner, you guys. I've been meaning to talk about that. I feel like I'm gonna say something about that. I feel like I gotta speak on it this week because I'm definitely doing hot topics this week. But yeah, like I don't understand why Melody didn't do it when she got the divorce from Martell. But I mean, it is what it is. Better late than never, I guess, right? But let's pause here and move forward. Next up, you guys, let's talk about good old Martell. So, if you guys watch my Bell Collective review, I was talking about Latrice, right? And do I want to talk about? I don't want to talk about that. If it comes up at the reunion, we'll discuss it. This situation that's going on currently with Melody and Martell. If it comes up at the reunion, we'll discuss it then. But right now, I would kind of prefer not to talk about it. But Martell is meeting up with Miguel Wilson, right? And I'm guessing Martell is wanting to get his foot into the fashion industry. I was like, oh, now it's making sense why you and Sheree linked up together so y'all can put out non-existent clothing. Speaking of non-existent clothing, Martell, has anybody saw that incest wine in stores? I mean, despite how I might feel about the man, I'm all about supporting black men, black women, black people in general, right? I'm all about supporting black businesses. Because like I said, if I go to Huntsville, I definitely want to go to black. That is definitely something that I want to do. If I were to go to Huntsville, I want to go to black, right? But Martell is delusional as delusional as Sheree is. When they asked him what the price point was for his suits, this month says $600 to $700. Sir, let's go down. You are going to be virtually an unknown designer, so we can't scale that high. Good luck. Ask your girlfriend how's that working for her. With hope, so your web, I'm pretty sure Sheree's gonna tell you that. Make sure when you go live, make sure that your website crashes too. Y'all ain't fooling me with this fake ass relationship. But that's all I got for Martell. Let's pause here and wrap up the episode, you guys. All right, you guys. So the end of the episode, it was kind of frustrating because it is the comeback group meeting up to discuss the Black Business Expo, right? So Kimmy is still basically on the fence, and I understand why she's on the fence. So, like I said earlier, I can see all sides of this when it comes down to it. I can see Kimmy's side, and I can see Letitia and Marceau's side. I can see them saying, the community has been there and done so much for us, so why are we taking a profit from them? I get what they're saying about that, and I got what they said. If we got sponsors, then we're gonna have to charge people. But then in this meeting, y'all bring up sponsors, and 9 times out of 10, I mean, I don't. It can be a nonprofit event. If you have a nonprofit event, that means you still have your vendors and everything, and you have people who donate to it, but it's open to the public. And what you can do to offset that is, if you have businesses and you have products there, you can sell that stuff there. And I mean, I don't know. I don't get it, because remember earlier in the season they said if they got sponsors, then they're gonna have to charge people. But now they're saying they're talking about sponsors, but they don't want to pay people. And my issue comes in with it, where you're asking me to, yes, you're saying that this is a nonprofit situation, right? And you want to give back to the community, but you want me to come and speak to the community, but you don't want me to be compensated for my time. And I think that that's the slap in the face to everybody, is you want me to come here and speak. That's not a problem. You can that's fine. Ask me to speak. If you say we don't have, like, if I send you my rates and you say, okay, well, you're a little on the high side, right? We don't have that big of a budget. Can we bring you down just a little bit? If it's for charity and it's for a good cause, then I can say, you know what, yeah, that is my normal fee, but you know what, since this is for a good cause, let me come down on it, and let's meet in the middle ground. But that's not what they're saying. Then on top of that, they want them to donate to the Black Business Expo. Again, you want me to come and speak for free, and you want me to donate to this, but I get nothing out of it. And then Marceau is talking about that's greed. I don't think I didn't find anything greed about it. And what really kind of blew me was Maurice. At one point, Maurice was on Marceau and Letitia's side, but then he kind of flipped a little bit. I was like, so which side are you on? Are you on your brother's side or are you not, right? Now, let's backtrack just a little bit, right? So Kimmy and Mel were the first two there, right? So Kimmy was telling Melody about how, she's almost done. She's got to go through radiation, 6 weeks of radiation. and after that she wants to go, do a vacation, right? So she was asking Melody, like, who are you dating? And Melody was like, I could tell you that's not your business, right? I'm cool with Melody not wanting to bring, if she's dating somebody, I'm cool with her not wanting to bring the guy on the show. I mean, look at her ex-husband. He's a terror. So I don't blame her at all, right? But back to the Black Business Expo, like I said, I can see all sides of this coin. I can see Marceau and Letitia's side, but like I said, ultimately, I'm more aligned with Melody and Kimmy, because if you're asking, it's one thing to say, like I said, if it's a nonprofit event, right? I would say, okay, if it's nonprofit, then yes, I have my rates, but for you, since it's nonprofit, I'm willing to come down just a little bit on how much I charge. But I still do want to be compensated. You're asking me to take time out of my day, away from my businesses, to come here and speak to people. This is a speaking engagement. You owe me something. I need some kind of compensation. I don't need as much, but I need something. You're asking me to give up my time to do this for you, right? But then y'all say y'all don't want to pay anybody. And honestly, I feel like Letitia and Marceau are gonna take a cut from somewhere. Like Kimmy said, it's the Black Business Expo, but it's black spelled BLAQUE, not BLACK. So it's under the guise of Marceau and Letitia's restaurant Black. So I'm on again. I am on Kimmy and Martell and Melody's side. Let me know where you guys stand, and that's really all I got, you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, you guys. Turn your post notifications and share the video. And until the next time, you guys, stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands, you guys. Be blessed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.